Good morning, students. I hope all of you are keeping fine and regular in completing your notebooks, your question answers, and doing the online studies. Prepare well because at the end of this month, 27th and 28th, you have another test, and so prepare well. Okay? Today, take your English textbook, Beehive, and open to page number 65. Take the pencil with you as well. Okay, you need to underline, you need to write the meanings, you need to write the figures of speech. You will find there a poem, A Legend of the Northland by Fove Carey. Let us try to understand the topic, what is legend and what is Northland. Okay, legend means a historical story. Okay, and usually it is very old and has been passed on from generation to generation, and usually it is done in a oral form. Oral form means speaking. Okay, usually the grandparents will tell to their grandchildren, and it is not in a written form. You will not find written, just people would speak the story. But remember, this legend will have some moral behind it. Okay, some message will be there. Now that is the legend, that is historical story, remember, of that particular place. And Northland means it's an area in the northernmost part of the earth, that is near the North Pole. The exact place is not specified here. The legend of the Northland, it is said. So any countries, like whichever countries are near the North Pole, like Russia, Canada, Greenland, or Norway, or whatever. And here the speciality of this Northland is what? The days are very short and nights are very long. It's reality. Okay, this is something to nothing. It's not a legend. It's an reality. Now let us try to understand a short summary before going to the poem itself, so that it will be easier for you to understand. This poem is a legend about an old lady who angered Saint Peter. Angered means made angry. The Saint Peter. Who was Saint Peter? He was a follower of Jesus Christ. He was a disciple of Jesus Christ. And he angered him because of her greed. Whom we call greedy person? The person who is not ready to share his or her belongings with others. Instead of having plenty, don't want to give it, don't want to share. That's called greedy. Greedy person, we say. Because of her greed, Saint Peter was angry with her. The story goes on like this. One day, Saint Peter was preaching around the world, and he was going walking. Remember, those days there were no means of what you call transportation, and so he was going around the world. And at the end of the day, in the evening, he reached the door of a cottage where this woman lived, this old lady, and she was making cakes and baking them on a hearth. The words will come in your lesson also. Hearth means it's a fireplace where you'll do the cooking, and usually the baking place, the big fireplace, that is called hearth. Saint Peter was fainting with hunger. He was about to fall down because he was very hungry, whole day not eaten anything. And so he asked the lady to give him a piece of cake. And the cake that she was baking then appeared to be too big. And so she did not give him that. Instead, she baked another smaller one because she said it is too big to give him. And that now the another one that she baked, that also appeared to be big. So she did not give him that also. Now yet another time she baked smaller cake, but found it to be, that one also is too big to give it away. In the third attempt, you know what she did? She took an extremely little scrap of dough, just small little dough, and rolled it flat. And the poet says something like a thin wafer. But she was unable to part with that also. And so naturally, this angered Saint Peter a lot. He got angry with her. And so what he did? He cursed her. He said that she was not fit to live in human form and enjoy food and warmth. She is a human being. She is having all the comfort. She is having warmth, with the earth is very warm, and she has food. She has a good house. And so he cursed her and transformed her into a woodpecker bird. And transformed means he changed her into a woodpecker bird. She became a bird. Woodpecker is a type of bird. You will find in your in the video. I have put it there. The woodpecker bird. What it is later on, I'll tell you. And this bird had to bore in hard. It has to dig in the dry wood to get its food. And so the story says that she can be seen in the trees all day boring and boring for food. She has to do hard work because the reason is because she did not want to share her food or the cake, a piece of cake with this hungry man. Saint Peter, he was a good man, he was a follower of Jesus Christ. Okay, now let's go to the poem. You will see there, this poem, Legend of the Northland, is a ballad. Ballad, or popularly we pronounce as ballet. B-A-L-L-A-D is a ballad, but then you will hear people usually we pronounce this as a ballet. Okay, this ballet, what is ballet? Is a kind of poem which tells a story in short stanzas. Okay, it's actually in the poetic form, but it will have a story. And all the stanzas comprises of 4 lines. There will be, you will see in your textbook, only 4 lines. And in total, in this poem, we have 16 stanzas. And all the stanzas will have 4 lines, and these stanzas will tell us a story. Ballet are a part of folk culture or popular culture and are passed on orally from one generation to the next. I told you in the introduction, it's a folk culture, or we call popular culture. And folk culture comprises of traditional stories. It's a traditional where the story will be pass it on from one generation to the next. And this story is of the Northland area, the area which is near the North Pole. I told you it can be in any country which is near the North Pole. Okay. Now we'll follow the stanza 1. Look there. Away, away in the Northland, where the hours of the day are few, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through. Very easy, you understood, no? In the region around the North Pole, that is Northland, where the duration of the day is very less because its position is such that the sun rays reaches for a very less time. When this area is experiencing winter season, the duration of night is very, very long and the daytime hours are very less. In the 4th line, you will find there they. You see, they cannot sleep them through. Here they refers to whom? To the people who live in this region. And the poet says that the duration of the night time is so long that the people cannot sleep them through. If they go to bed, take a few hours of sleep, and then they wake up, it is still night time. He wants to emphasize on the fact that the duration of the night is very long. How long can we sleep at night? Maybe 6 to 8 hours is enough. They say for a healthy sleep, at least 8 hours you have to sleep. Okay. Now, more than that you cannot sleep. But then these people, those who are near this North Pole, these people, night is very, very long. They can't get up after 8 hours because it is very dark. And the daytime, the sun rays falls, duration is very, very short. So that is the first 4 lines. I hope you have understood. Away, away in the Northland, in this Northland, the hours of the day are very few. Here few means very less. Okay, less timing during the day, and night are very long when in winter season. That the people of this region, they cannot sleep them through. No, they can't sleep, they can't work. At night what work they can do? It's not possible. You see here the figures of speech, the last line, the 4th line, you see that they, that they cannot sleep them, the sound of that, they, okay, them, through, all these things, that the consonant sound the is repeated here, and so this figure of speech we call it an alliteration. Okay, if you have understood, we will proceed to the second stanza. Where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges when it snows, and the children look like bears' cubs in their funny furry clothes. This also is very easy. This 4 lines again, you see this place, where this place of Northland, they harness. Harness means to tie the reindeers with a rope. to a sledge so that it can be used for transportation. That the harness is to tie. The swift reindeer, swift means very fast. Reindeers are, you see in the picture, these are your reindeers, okay? You see something like your deer, but not deer. They are quite bigger than deer. And you see the horns are very, very long. And then they are very swift. Swift means very fast. They move very fast. To the sledges, this is the sledge. It's like we call cart, no? This is called sledge. It's a vehicle carrying loads as well as the people. This is called sledge. They tie there when it snows, only during the snowing time. And the children of this place, North Pole, they look like bears' cubs. Cubs are the young ones of the bears. The small children, they look like these bears' cubs. Why they look like bears' cubs? Because they are wearing what? Funny, furry clothes. The clothes that they are wearing, they are furry, made out of furs of the animals. Okay, the fur clothes during winter season, and so they are looking so funny. They are looking like these small ones of these bears. Remember the funny, furry clothes. You see, funny. The sound of F, F, consonant sound F, F is repeated, and therefore it is an again your alliteration. In the third line, you see there, they look like bear's cub. See, look like bear's cubs. Can you see there? It is your simile. The word like is used here, as well as comparison between these children and the bear's cub is made. Therefore, it is a simile. Hope it is clear to you. Your northern region experiences several cold conditions, and so it is a snowy area. Reindeer is an animal which is found in this polar region. People tie the reindeers to sledges, and then the reindeers pull the sledges. He adds that the children look like young ones of a bear because they wear funny looking clothes made of fur, which is like the furry skin of a bear. Next answer. They tell them a curious story. I don't believe it's true, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. In the first line, you see they. Who are these they? It refers to the parents or elders or grandparents, and them, they tell them. Them is to the children or the young ones, the younger generation. So the elders of the Northland region, they tell the strange and interesting story, the curious stories. Curious something. Children are interesting in listening to the younger generation, and the poet says that he doesn't think that the story is true. Doesn't believe. I don't believe it's true, he says. But if he tells the story to the reader, my dear children, now it is to you, maybe the reader could learn a lesson from it. And the story gives an important message. You see another word for the story? In these 4 lines you will find another word is there, which is a story, means story. You see the 4th line, if I tell the tale to you, T-A-L-E, tale is a story, okay? So it's telling, though the writer, the poet does not believe that it can be a true story, but he is telling the story here so that you will believe. Not believe, but then you will learn something, because this story contains some moral lesson. Tell the tale to you. You see there, tell them. Last line, if I tell the tale to you. These are the sound t is repeated, t is repeated, and the consonant sound t, it's an again alliteration. Clear? Next stanza, 4th stanza. Once, when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching, just as he did, you know. You see, Saint Peter, I told you in the introduction, is an apostle of Christ, or the disciple or the follower of Jesus Christ. He was preaching, he was giving a religious talk. Here the story is about the Saint Peter. Now we come to the story. What is this story is about? When Saint Peter used to live in the world, that means when he was alive, and he was going around giving religious lectures to the people, just like other followers or other saints did, then an incident happened. You see, lived in the world below and walked about it preaching, just as he did, you know. Something happens, okay? Next answer. You see the Saint Peter. This is Saint Peter, okay? I have taken the picture here. This is Saint Peter. He came to the door of a cottage in traveling round the earth, where a little woman was making cakes and baking them on the hearth. Hearth, I told you already, it is a fireplace where the baking is being done. This Saint Peter was moving around the world, giving religious lectures to the people. Now he reached the door of a cottage where a small woman or this old woman was making cakes, and she was baking the cakes in the fireplace. Okay. I hope it is clear to you. Nothing to understand because very clear, simple language. Next answer. And being faint with fasting, for the day was almost done, he asked her from her store of cakes to give him a single one. Fainting means to be weak, almost to your falling down, you know. Many times when you don't have breakfast, you don't eat at night properly, next day what happens? You have no strength, you feel like falling down. Here Saint Peter had not eaten anything the entire day, and he was very hungry and he was feeling very weak. So he went to this woman who was baking cakes, and he asked for one cake out of the many cakes that she had baked. Please give me a single one, you see. He went to the store of cakes. He was having the store and asked her, give me one cake. You see what she did there. Next answer you will see. So she made a very little cake, but as it baking lay, she looked at it and thought it seemed too large to give away. The woman was selfish. I told you, was a greedy woman, and so she did not give the cake from her store, which is already it was done. It was baked. Instead, what she did, she started making a small cake for Saint Peter. And remember, Saint Peter was very hungry, and she did not want to share her things. But when she put the cake for baking, she looked at it and thought that this cake was too big to be given to someone. You know, when you bake something from a small dough, it becomes a big one. Cake, you know, cake, those who are having on the bakery, you know, you will see a small dough becomes a big cake. So she said, it's too big to give to someone, and she doesn't know who is this Saint Peter. Perhaps if she knew that who this great man was, surely she would have given. But then she thought, one ordinary man, someone strange person is asking for a piece of cake. She did not give. She looked at it, you see, such a greedy woman, and thought it looks too large to give away, very big to give it away. Next answer, you see. Therefore, she needed another, and still a smaller one, but it looked, when she turned it over, as large as the first had done. Kneaded means, you know, just to knead the flour, to make dough from flour. Mummy will be doing this, kneading the flour. You ask, that is the meaning of kneading. She needed another and still smaller one, and looked at it, and she turned it over, and it looks like as if the first one, big. The little miser woman, it was a miser, another word for greedy is miser or selfish. She thought that the cake was too big to be given away. So she started making another smaller cake. When she looked at that cake, again she felt that it was as big as the previous one. And so she was not ready to give this smaller cake to Saint Peter. And remember, Saint Peter is waiting for the cake because he was hungry. We will continue tomorrow. Okay, the next video it will be continuation because it is too long, and you try to underline, find out the figures of speech and understand the story up to now, up to here. Good day, students.